Hello everyone, it's Tangi from Papercrafting Australia. Thanks for joining me for another Crafternoon Box tutorial. Today we are going to be making a tower card. I'm a little bit hot and flustered. It's a bit warm here in Victoria today. I don't know what is going on with our weather, but we've had some really lovely days. So it's a bit of a shame to be stuck inside today, but I'm happy to be doing craft, so I don't really mind. So I hope you've all been well since we last saw you last week. We will get into making sure that we've got Facebook and YouTube working. If one decides to crash during the stream, you can always flip across to the other one, and hopefully it hasn't decided to fall down as well. Hi Tony, thanks for joining us. As always, you're always on time, you're always here. It's no problem if you can't make the lives. You can always watch us on the catch-up replays on YouTube and Facebook. So that's all good. Going to get stuck into our project for today, so the tower card. I'll switch across. Here's our lovely overhead view for you. Just keep an eye on my Facebook and YouTubes just to see who's popping in, because we'll just start talking about the bits that we're going to be using today, and we'll go from there. So you are going to need a paper trimmer or a cutter and a scoreboard. You're going to need a bone folder, some double-sided tape, some cardstock and some patterned paper. So today we're going to use the gorgeous Paper Rose Studios Boho Nursery collection. Hi Jenny, hello Mum, happy Saturday. Tony loves this hour. Yes, I love our craft hour each week as well. It's great. So some cardstock. So today I'm going to use all four of the colours that we got in the kit for the Crafternoon box for the month of October. And I know you've all got your kits because I checked Australia Post tracking this morning, and I'm very surprised that they're all there, even the ones that went very, very far into Western Australia. So yay, Australia Post is moving out of Victoria, but they're not really moving much around Victoria. It's very, very delayed. I'm getting things sent from the other side of Melbourne at the moment, and they're taking 2 weeks to arrive. I could literally get in my car and go and pick it up, except for 15k rules on lockdown. Never mind. So we're going to use Kaisercraft Weave cardstock. I've got the colours Rose, Biscuit, Apricot and Bloom. So they are the four colours that I'm going to be using today. This is the almighty tower card. So you can see from the top it's a bit of a hashtag. We'll have to hashtag all of our photos on this with hashtag tower card. It does fold right down to a nice flat pancake, and it will fit just into a 5 by 7 inch envelope. So to do that, you'll need to pop it in, and then you'll see I've already popped this one in, and it's got a little bit of a crease in it. So the flat will fold down, and you'll probably need to just add some extra tape to the back of that one, just to make sure it stays closed in the mail. Or if you're giving it to somebody by hand, then it's not such a big deal. Just a little bit of tape will hold that flap shut. So it looks complicated. It looks like a bit of a nightmare, but it's actually really, really simple, which is why I decided I would go ahead and do it. So you may also want to, instead of using patterned paper on some of these panels, for example, if you weren't going to just embellish that panel and you wanted to write something on it before you then adhere that to the card, you might want to do that as well. So just see how you go. It depends on the purpose of the card that you're wanting to, who you're wanting to give it to and for what occasion. It might want to be just something, oh, you can't hear me again, Tony. I've got my volume up as loud as I can. I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I've got anything else in here that I can give you. Audio. No, I've got as much as I can. So I will just try and talk really, really loud. I'll try that for you, Tony. So see how you go depending on who you're gifting it to as to how you might want to decorate this one. On the example one, I just used a white cardstock for the inside. However, I am going to make one for you with the coloured cardstock just so you can see the difference. You could also, if you wanted to, cut some patterned paper to go in there because you can see it. As part of your display if you're looking down on it from top. Facebook's good, but the YouTube volume's low. I don't know. Might be something on your device, Tony. Is everybody, Mum can hear? I don't know. We'll keep going. We'll see how we go. All right. I'm just going to clear some stuff off to the top of my screen, just so that I've got some space to work with. Now I have put all of the dimensions in, Kate, can you hear me? Hi Kate! Thanks for joining me. I hope you're sitting down with a nice strong black coffee, Miss Gail. Having a little bit of craft watch time. Okay, let's get some things moving. Dimensions are in the description, so you can absolutely go through and follow those. If you're not making it right now, that's totally fine. You can always come back. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut down a piece of cardstock to make the tower base. And to cut that, we are going to cut 7.5 inches by 5 1/4. I'm just going to move this across. 7.5. Now I've already cut some out of this sheet, but you might be working with a full sheet. Half your luck. Oh, so it's just tiny. So 7.5 and then 5 1/4 here. Guys, I just want to have a little bit of a brag about Kate's neighbourhood. So Kate Gale, who's joining our Facebook stream at the moment, that her neighbourhood, her street that she lives in has just won, is it Ballarat's friendliest street? Is that what it is? I want to know how to do that because I want to do that for my street. I don't live in Ballarat, but I want a friendliest street title down here. Well done. I know you guys all look out for each other, and it's a really great environment. So well done, your street. Okay, so this is the tower base that we're going to score that in just a moment. But while I've got this trimmer out, I do just want to cut down some pieces for the tags. So all of these little tags that kind of hang off to the side of that tower card, I'm going to cut 12 of them in total. So the size for the tags is 3.5 inches by 1 3/4. Don't know if I've got these ones that were left over from earlier. I'm just going to check because they are 3.5. So I'm just going to cut some of these ones down. 3.5 by 1 3/4. So I want 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm going to pop my scraps off to the side so I don't get lost. So I've got 3 in the apricot colour. Got this one in bloom. Again, 3.5 by 1 3/4. I'm going to cut 3 of each colour. You can cut them all the same colour if you want. You can cut 2 different colours. It's absolutely up to you. Oops, what your colour scheme you want to do. I'm just throwing things around now. That's my 3.5 that way. So I'm going to cut 1 3/4 this way. We all had a good week, barring the news in Melbourne that I'm avoiding like the plague because our numbers for COVID are just going up and up and up and up and up. And I'm just tired of seeing people doing the wrong thing and complaining about why we're in this situation. So I'm trying to avoid the news, and I've been doing some cooking. So last night I made a sultana slice because the other week Ben's mum came over to she was making something, I can't remember what it was that she was making bread and butter pudding, and she'd run out of sultanas, so she asked could she borrow some. So we gave her some, and that's all good. Like, you know, we had plenty. You know, it's a staple kind of item in our pantry. But she bought the biggest box as a replacement. And yeah, so last night I thought I need to use up these sultanas. So I googled a quick recipe, and I came up with this sultana slice. So I made some of that and ate that nice and hot last night, straight out of the oven. I don't think you're supposed to do that because it gives you a tummy ache or something. Or maybe that's an old wives' tale like Mum used to tell me about going in the pool in the first half an hour after you've had lunch. I don't know. All right, so we've got our base and we've got our 12 tags. So I've cut all of those out. Now we're going to cut some pattern paper that we are then going to decorate these with before we start putting everything together. So out of this beautiful paper rose Boho Nursery, just getting your partner to the rescue, Tony. I hope that's just getting your partner to help with the audio situation and not with the crafting. They might be handy as well, I don't know. Oh, too funny. So cute as a button little papers with the Boho Nursery. Of course, you can make this project with any colours and any patterns that you would like. I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit from the ones that I used earlier today. I'm going to go a little bit darker, I think. How cute are these little guys? I mean, you could definitely fussy cut some of these out and pop them on here as embellishments. I don't have time to do that on a live stream. What do we reckon? I don't know. It's too many choices. I think that's cute. Maybe I'll go. I do want to keep a bit of the. Maybe I'll go those ones today. I want it to be a little bit darker, a little bit more grungy. And I mean, if I was going to go hard on, colour paletting it all up, then I might kind of look at changing out some of these colours as well. But this is what we've got, and I'll work with it. We will make something out of pretty much anything. So let's cut these down. So again, we're going to want to cut 12 of each. Now, bear in mind, if you are cutting some plain cardstock because you want some panels to write on, then you want to include those in your panels of 12. You also want to keep in mind any directional papers that you've got. Your partner's not crafty, but did fix your speakers, and that's all you need, Tony. Now they're banished from the room. So keep in mind any directional patterns that you might have. For example, if you want the stripes to run this way rather than this way, you will need to pay attention to how you're cutting. So for these, we're going to cut 12 faces to go onto our little tabs, and they are going to measure 3 1/4 inches by 1 1/2. It's going to be a horizontal block, so we're going to measure 3 1/2, 3 1/4 in width, and keep the pattern running this way. Pop that guy over there, and then I'll cut my 1 1/2 inch panels this way. And that means those cute little wreaths, when we attach them on here, they're going to be up the right way. We're not going to have the little bunny in the bucket upside down, although that might be funny. Okay, so we need 3. So because I'm cutting, for each colour, and I've got 4 pattern papers and 4 coloured cardstock, it's going to cut 3 of each to make up my 12. And with that, we're also going to cut 3 blocks for each colour. That's 1 1/2 by 1 1/2 inches. Now with this pattern paper, if you've cut that exactly how I've just cut it, so 3 1/2 inches and then 1 3/4 times 3, you will have this little strip at the end will be just on 1 1/2 inches high. So you can then just cut your blocks. You can cut 2 off this one just to use up all of that paper, and then that's the only scrap little bit that you've got to go in the bin for this one. You will need to then cut off another 1 1/2 inch strip off that one. I'm going to cut this upside down so I can get the pattern. I noticed on this one, there is a bit of a white border along one side that I think looks a little bit, I don't know if you can see that. The pattern doesn't seem to kind of, it's not a misprint, it's just where that pattern normally would sit is actually just off that page. So it kind of looks like you've got a white border. And if you were to cut a 1 1/2 inch, it's kind of going to look a bit weird. You might also be that person that wants to measure things out and really specifically cut it because that's a circle and it can go right in the middle of that square piece. That's totally fine as well. You do you. So we'll keep going. Do we want horizontal or do we want... I did horizontal on the other one, so I'll do vertical on this one with the stripes. I love this stripe. I think we've gone down the path before where I've told you the story about being banned as a teenager from buying more stripy shirts. I just had a thing for stripy shirts, so I had a lot. I got banned. Mum banned me. I had to, if I had to buy more, I had to throw some out, I think was the rule. Never mind. So that's my 3 of those, and then I'll cut my 2 1.5 inch squares of that little bit. This is a great card to make in a batch because there's just so much cutting that's just like repetitive. Just cut lots of these sizes. So you could spend a really good chunk of a day just cutting up papers and then putting a bunch of cards together. And I think this is it's a really fun one to have in your stash. If you've got some cards prepared, you know, you might not put greetings on them, but then when the time comes, you've already got that card pre-made and you can then just embellish it however you like, which is why you'll kind of see me not do too many cards that are full of embellishments, because I like to pick and choose if I want to make it for somebody in a particular way later on. Oops. So I'm just cutting just my little 1.5 inch cubes for this one. And lucky last little one off the side here. For this colour, and then we've got one more coloured paper to go. I am making, speaking of my cooking earlier, I have to get off the stream on time today because I've got to get a roast lamb on. So Ben's going to do the lamb on the Kamado, and I've got to do the veggies. I'm going to do a roast baked, a whole cauliflower, and lots of roast veggies. Maybe a bit of duck fat potatoes. We'll see how that goes. Nearly done on this one. What's everybody else doing for dinner tonight? It's not really, now that it's warm weather, it's kind of a bit sad that we're doing a roast for dinner because I'm like, oh, a really nice salad would be good. Not your normal little garden salad. It'd be pimped out fully. Roast pumpkin and beetroot and all that kind of fun stuff. Walnuts and balsamic vinegar. It wouldn't be a basic salad. Alrighty, we are nearly there. Oops. Done deal. Alrighty, put that away somewhere where I'm not going to kick it. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of bits and pieces. Now we just have to work out which ones we're going to put on which colour, and you can mix it around, match it up, do whatever you like. I'm a bit of a methodical person, so I don't know if you've noticed, I like to have a bit of a pattern and a rule. It just, I don't know, just helps me keep my shit together. Oh dear. Alrighty, which colours do we think works best? I think this is a really dark colour, and I'm kind of like, does that work better on here or here? Because this one doesn't really work. Kind of clashes a bit with some of those other ones. So I think that's my pattern. Oops, I left that one there. All right. So all we're going to do, you can see everything that we're doing. I am just going to flip each one of these over using some double-sided tape. I'm just going to run, once I find the edge, I'm just going to run one strip just down the middle of this. You can also use liquid glue if you would like. Grab one of my little tags. Try and place it as evenly as you can. And that one ready to go. I can put those little bits up there. Again, I've got a little bit of a routine, and you'll see why. Because you do once you start putting it all together, you get a little bit muddled and that kind of thing. So I find if I've started with a little bit of a pattern and a system, it'll go a bit smoother and I won't be tearing my hair out. we just keep taping and go from there. Did everyone see our little launch for our Christmas pattern papers that came out last week? Been a while now. They are selling really, really well. People are really jumping on board the 12-inch pattern paper train, which is nice. And I've already got a set that is designed and ready to go to print for our January kits. So I am going to be doing a little bit of research with you all in the next couple of weeks just to see what it is that people want to see in next year's kits. Do you want to keep going with next year's kits to begin with? Do we want to do it all through 2022? Do we want to change it up? Do we want ink pads still and just keep building on those products? Or do we want to start switching it out and having a look at different things? Let me know. Muddle is my middle name, says Tonya. Yep. Bit muddled up. What did I get muddled up on last week? Oh, no, I know what it was. Last week's stream was, or Sunday's stream that we did, the extra one, was all about my camera. Me not turning off a setting on my camera before we started, which means that the screen decides to go to sleep, which means that it just holds the image and nothing new comes through. That was a bit of a boo-boo. A bit of a dork moment. We all have those, I'm sure. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. We all have moments. But I've got new tools, new equipment on the way. I've dug out, I've finally found my old, they are old, they're a couple of years old, they're not old. They're still usable. I found my old cameras, my old digital cameras, and because I know the quality on this is not great on the old iPhones. This is an iPhone 7. Jenny, I will be getting the non-stick mats back in very, very soon. I've got an order going in. I'll probably put that order in tomorrow, actually. So it'll be later in the week. I'll hold you one. I'll order an extra from what we would normally have. So I've got these. Found the cameras. I've just found them this morning in a box that I did not think they would be in. I'd not labelled things correctly. So anyway, been looking for those for weeks. Found them, so we should hopefully be able to, once they're charged up, I'll be able to have a play, make sure I've got settings right. I've also got some new lighting coming, which is very exciting. I have a new shipping printer coming so that I can print labels for orders. Now that we're getting more orders in, it's a bit tedious doing it the old way, which was needing to print 4 orders at once to make up a sheet of sticker paper, and then having to cut those down before I could adhere them. So my new sticker label printer, it's a thermal one, so it's not got ink cartridges or anything. So that is coming early this week, and that will save me so much time. I'll just be able to process the order, stick the label on, off it goes. Also got some new boxes to fit, just if you wanted to order paper packs, then we don't have the thick pizza boxes, the Crafternoon boxes, just full of empty air, and your cardstock needs to be kind of packed really carefully to make sure it doesn't bend. So I've got these, I'll show you, because there's one just on the other side of the room. It's not far away. I've got this, which, as you can see, they're quite thin, and they perfectly fit a set of 12-inch papers in. So that was my my internet search find of the week. So I had fun. It's been a bit of a process finding the right size and shaped bags and boxes and things like that for all of the products, because we do have some A4 papers. I'm just going to pop just a little piece of double-sided tape on the back of all of these ones just to get them ready for assembly. Again, if you wanted to use liquid glue, you certainly can. It's just going to take a bit longer and obviously you can't prep it now before you start making the card. Oops, moving everything. So yeah, so I've got lots of new toys on the way. I love new things. I've got the January pattern papers designed and pretty much ready to go off to print, so I'll send those off this week. Got the last couple of things for the Christmas November boxes just to get, they'll arrive this week, and then we can pack them and send them to you, and then they should arrive well and truly before the first November tutorial. Hi Judy. I don't know if you've been with us all along or if you've just arrived. Facebook likes to tell me every 5 seconds that somebody is watching, but you might have been watching for 10 minutes already. So, news. All right, so I'll pop those back up here and we can get on to assembly. What else have we got on Facebook? I've also got Monique. Hi Monique. Thanks for popping by. Okay, time to get the scoreboard out. So, this is my 12-inch scoreboard. Move things out of the way. We're going to take the base card and we are going to score 4 places along the long edge. So we are going to score at 1 3/4 inches. Keep it nice and firm. You'll notice that I will always pull my cardstock, as long as it's against the side here nice and neatly, I'll always pull it down just so I can get a good score right from the edge of the cardstock. If you've got it up here and you're scoring, you'll find that that little crease that you've started up there won't be as neat. Just something I do. Next one across, we are at 3.5 inches. Tony, are you coping all right with inches today? We are going to go 5.25 inches. And then finally at 7 inches. And that's all there is to it. Again, those dimensions are in the description. If you missed catching it, or you're going to go back and watch it and do it at a later time, totally fine. All right, here's what we're making. Okay, so flip over your base and fold and burnish each of those score lines that you've just made. Nice and easy. It's nice thick cardstock, this one, so it does hold everything really well. And you'll start to notice as you start layering everything up, like this one with the paper on it already feels strong. Once we started adhering it to here, it will also feel nice and strong. Okay, so then you want to take some double-sided tape or some liquid adhesive, whatever is your preference. Just pop it along this little tab that's on the left end or the right end, just the tiniest one. I'm going to put 2 runs of this Couture Creations double-sided tape, just because then I know I've got, normally I could use a slightly thicker tape. I don't have any on my desk today, so I'm just using this. Okay, this card has just so few materials, it's not funny, and it's quick and easy. Okay, so we can then take off those little backing papers, and then all you want to do is fold this. You can fold wherever, you can fold it halfway, but just fold 2, so you've got 2 panels on the bottom, and then you should just be able to lay this one down, and that'll make your card, your little tower base, just perfect. It'll stand up nicely. Happy days. That's the start. All right, so now that you've got your base, just fold it down so that there's, it's flat, 2 sections at a time. Doesn't matter where you start, but I'm going to go all the way over these panels, and I'm just going to put 3 pieces of tape, double-sided tape, on each of the 4 panels. So 1 on each long side and then 1 in the middle. Again, if you wanted to use liquid adhesive with this one, you absolutely can. It is going to slow down the process for you because you can't kind of do it in a systematic way. And then you will have to wait a little bit while the glue dries before you move on to the next panel. And of course, you can't prep all 4 panels at once and then move on. It'll be panel by panel. Oh, doggy. Here we go. I promise you haven't lost audio, I'm just concentrating. Give you a moment to breathe. Okay. All right, got that. I'm just going to have a sip of water. And by sip, I mean really big gulp. Okay, so now that you've got all of your little pieces of tape all the way around, grab the right panel of whichever one that you're looking at the moment. Make sure you keep this from now on one way up. So you need to put your panels on in one direction. We're going to take one of our panels. I'm just going to line the right hand top corner up with this one and also line up the sides and the bottom. And just stick that one down. So we've got that first little tab holding on there. I'm going to take my next one. So I'm just going to work methodically down this and then keep rotating. Next one, you want to line it up with the seam that's in the middle. So the bit that's where these two kind of meet. Line that up there and then also pop it just up against this little tab that you've put above. So you want one going this way, one going this way. And then the third one, you're going to do the same as you did for the top one, but you're just going to line it up. You're going to need to butt it up underneath this panel, but it should line up with the bottom corner and the side and the bottom edge of this one. You don't want it to overhang because what's going to happen is the next panel that we flip to, where the tab for that goes back this way, if this is hanging over on the right hand side here, you're actually going to impede the ability for that tab to swing that way. So you can see this is the start of how things are going. We are then going to fold that one to the left. Who sings the song to the left, to the left? All the little tabs on your box to the left. Alrighty, I'm actually going to flip all the way over to take this this tape covers off. Okay, and I'm going to start with this one because that was the next one in my little pattern. I'm going to pop this one. Now we're looking for the top edge of the card and this seam along here where your fold line is. You also want to just double check that it's lined up in such a way down here that these two aren't overlapping. So you kind of want to pick that little tab up and just make sure everything's kind of, you know, free moving, and pop that one to the left. This one here, we are then going to pop again against this left-hand side and butt that up under here. We're just going to keep going through. This one for the bottom. Double check that these aren't hindering each other before we stick it down. And now we've got two sides done. So then it is just a case of fold it all the way over again. Undo the tabs off the back of the tape. Hello, Ollie. Thanks for joining us. You're not late. All right. This was my last one, so we're going with this guy. You can always watch the replay, Ollie. The measurements are in the description as well if you need those. You probably want to rewatch this one because it's a little bit, there's a few little tips that might help your craft go a little bit smoother. And finally on this one, okay, so we've got the 3 sides going on. Getting there. Now this one is, in my opinion, this is the hardest one to do. So you're going to thank me for the fact that we put these papers on beforehand. And there is a bit of a trick. We're going to do these in a slightly different order for this one because there is a way to make it a little bit easier. Make sure you know which end is your top and your bottom if you've got directional papers. So we're going to start with the middle one. And the reason for that is because you want this to be able to slot in between these two, and then you want to try and line it up on the left-hand side with this tab so that everything's lined up nicely. You might have a little bit of, hopefully this is doing it justice from the top-down view. Alrighty, so once you've got that down, and of course if you tried to flatten this to do it the other way beforehand, this tab would have stuck to your adhesive. So you do have to do that first one first, and then you can lay it down so that this is on the right hand side, and then you can pop these ones on facing the left. Same way we did with all the others. Don't panic about these ones being the same because they're on different faces. And that is the main structure of your tower card. Mum, you won't mess this up. You just have to pay attention to what you're doing. So then it is just a matter of laying your card flat, picking a starting spot or doing whatever you would like to. When I did this one earlier, because I've got 4 different colours, I basically looked at this and went, okay, what's touching this panel, or what's closest? And it kind of means that then you'll end up with something. So if you then go with the 4th one, which is this one, it means you've got lots of different things to look at. It's not all matchy-matchy. So it just depends on, you know, how you're patterning, how you want to make it look. So it's like this one, and this one. Choose the 4th one. So for this side, I've got, we've got this, we've got the wood, and we've got the green spots. So it'll be a stripe for this one. Oh golly, I'm getting hungry. I haven't had lunch. So I am going to turn these little squares side on to the long ones, just so that there's a little point of difference there as well. So I'll make those little horizontal stripes. Now this one's a bit of a tricky one because we've got the 2 of these and then the green dots. So I'm going to save that one, come back to it. So I'll go back a page, and I can put this little one just up here. That's another odd one, so we'll leave that one. This one will be green dots. And this one will be the timber one. You just keep working around. Again, I'm going to pop this one sideways as opposed to the up and down patterns that I had on those. I can do this one, which will be a green dot. Flip over again. What are we doing? Some stripes over here. So it's all about just piecing it together once you've kind of constructed the main tower. And it's pretty easy to go to from there. Oh gosh, my tummy is making so many noises. Starving. All right. So I've got that. Now it's just a bit of a matter of choosing which paper you're going to go with to pop in these bottom corners, because generally they're used up all the other ones. So I'm just going to, this one will be green spots. Make it up. If you can justify your pattern and your reasoning, that's all that matters. One of my university lecturers taught me that about design. As long as you can justify it, you'll get away with anything. Precision placing, Tony. Yeah, some of the, just though that middle tab on the last one, that's the crucial one. So if you get that one right, everything else is hunky-dory. Alrighty. So that is, for the moment, my finished card. So it's a tower card. As we said before, it's a bit of a hashtag. Maybe we should call it a hashtag card. Hashtag tower card. So it's got your four sides. It stands up, fits flat, should go into a 5x7 inch envelope. Just got to watch all the bits and pieces that get caught as you're putting it in. So it'll fit in. You'll just have to kind of make a new clean fold for the top of your envelope. It's close enough. Alrighty. So that's that. 2 cards, same patterns, same papers. I do like this one better because it's got a coloured core, so the base being core, but you can use plain white if you want to just save, your nice card and your nice papers for your good projects for the outside. Okay, well, that's us done for today. So we've gotten out of here in 45 minutes, so not quite an hour. But if you've got any questions about today's tutorial or any other products that we sell on the website, please get in touch with me. You can email me at info@papercraftingaustralia.com. You can also send us a Facebook message. We do get back to them over the weekend. It's kind of a bit hit and miss because I'm doing life things and unpacking boxes still 3 months after I've moved into the house. But anyway, there's only a few left, I promise, and the garage is looking much, much cleaner. Next week we will be doing a window swing card. So stay tuned for that one. You'll hopefully I'll get the example popped up on the events on Facebook and YouTube a little bit earlier in the week than the day of the tutorial. I'm trying to start getting myself ahead, so I'm working on that. It's a work in progress. Stay with me. But otherwise, I hope you all have a really great week ahead. Stay happy, stay safe, do lots of crafting, stay sane. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.